Hi guys, welcome to Geek Coding Academy. Today we'll see Collection Framework chapter 6.11, that is Immutable Collections. So in our previous video we covered all these topics, and also we covered some of the topics under part B. Under our very previous video we talked about on generics and collection framework. So if you guys not watched that video, please watch that video prior to this. Let's see today's topic called Immutable Collections. So guys, what do you mean by immutable collections? So immutable collections means once the collection gets created and once collection got created and data will be added to that collection, and it will be final, means it will be constant, so that next time I can't able to remove, add or delete data from it, and it will be like immutable for all the operations. Okay, create, read, update, create, update and delete operations, it will be immutable. So immutable collection in Java are collection whose elements can't be modified after the collection is created. This means like once an immutable collection is constructed, elements cannot be added, removed or replaced. Okay. What is the use for this is thread safety, consistency and integrity of the data. Okay. Let's see how it is useful, the immutable collections. So first is concurrency. So suppose like multiple thread trying to access the collection, and we don't want, like we want to avoid synchronization issues. Okay, if one of the thread trying to modify our data, so in immutable collections it will not possible, because only we can able to read it, but we can't do any modifying operations for a immutable collections. And second advantage is data integrity. So we need to protect data from being changed, okay, inadvertently. And efficiency, they can be shared freely between threads, okay, without requiring a defensive copying. Okay, so we can able to freely share the same collection to multiple threads, so we don't need to create a copy before sharing, so it will increase the efficiency. So this all about immutable collection. So let's see how we can able to achieve this immutable collection. Okay, in Java provides several ways to create and work with immutable collection, from basic techniques like using unmodifiable wrappers, which is present in collection utility classes. Okay. Two, we have a dedicated factory methods which introduced after Java 9. Let's see. First, we'll see the before Java 9 how we can able to achieve immutable collection. Now also we can do, but let's see the previous way of achieving an immutable collections is using an unmodifiable collections. Before Java 9, the only way to create a immutable collection was by wrapping the existing collection with the unmodifiable wrappers, which is provided by a utility class called as collections. Okay. In our utility class collections, we have a method called unmodifiable list. So we need to pass a particular collection to it. Suppose like we have a method called unmodifiable list and we need to pass list type of collection to it. It will make that as a immutable collection. Similarly, unmodifiable set, that all set type of collection, it will make it as an immutable. And unmodifiable map. So these are all methods available in our utility classes, which use to create an unmodifiable view of the collection. Okay. So, but there is one drawback here is that the original list still it's modifiable. Okay. Even though we can create a unmodifiable or immutable collection view of a original list or set or map, but still we can able to modify the original collection. So it does not provide a deep immutability. Okay, let's see how we can able to create. So this is an example where I created a one collection, one list collection, that is an array list, and I try to add A and B. I added a data to it, and using in a collections utility class dot unmodifiable list method, I just pass this list to it, and it will give me a complete collection, that is unmodifiable list type of collection. And when I print this, I can able to see A and B. Okay. After that, when I try to add the data to my original list, that is list dot add of C, It is possible. The C gets added to my original data, sorry, original list. And if I print my unmodifiable list, the new data which I added will be available here. So, but when I try to attempt, when I attempt to add a data to my unmodifiable version of my collection, that time I get a unsupported operation exception. The point here is using any utility classes, I can able to make a my collection as an immutable, but the original list still it's mutable. Okay. The changes to underlining collection still reflect in the unmodifiable view. So it does not provide a deep immutability. Okay. Let's see how immutable collections in Java 9 and above. So after Java 9 and above, some factory methods are introduced in list, set, and map interfaces itself. Instead of using from the utility classes, the both like interfaces, list, set, and map interfaces itself, we have some factory methods were introduced to create truly immutable collections. These factory methods create a collection that can't be modified. Okay, and changes to even we can't able to modify the immutable collections, and also the original list also we can't able to modify, because at the time of defining an original list we could have created an immutable collections using these methods. Okay, so what other factory method we'll see? If you are using a list type of collection, it will be like list of set type, it will be like set dot of, map type, it will be map dot of. Let's see one by one. So these methods, for example, these methods will return an unmodifiable collection, meaning the collection themselves are immutable, and any attempt to modify them, suppose like adding or removing element, will result in an unsupported operation exception. Like you can see here, I have created one example where while creating in the collection itself, I just did a list dot of, I added a data to it, ABC. It will give me an immutable or unmodifiable list. When I print this, I get an output as A, B, C. When I try to add another data D to it, I'm getting an exception called unsupported operation exception. Okay. And here in this case, if you use a factory method, there is no way we can able to modify a original data, original list, sorry, so that it is completely immutable. But whereas before Java 9, we are using our utility class, and we are calling the method unmodifiable list, set, or map. In that, actually we are making an immutable collections, but the original list we can able to modify that. So what are the features of Java 9 immutable collection is it's truly immutable. That means they don't allow modification, add, remove, update operation even after creation. At the time of after creation, there will be no way we can able to add, remove, or update. And it's compact. They are implemented to be memory efficient compared to standard collections like an array list or an hash list. And thread safe. They are inherently thread safe and they can't be modified once created. So this let's see an example of map. We already saw a list. Now it's a map. In map dot of A1, B2, C3. That means key value pairs, right? Map. It's type of different type of data like we are going to store in a key value pairs. So at the time of creation of this immutable map, we could have used like this map dot of A1, B2, C3. First is a key and second one will be value. So it will be like first is string and second key value will be like an integer. Once we print this immutable map, we get a equal to 1, B equal to 2, and C equal to 3, whatever data we added. Let's suppose I try to add one more data to it, that is D is equal to 4, D and 4, I get a unsupported operation exception. So let's see what is the difference between unmodifiable and immutable collections. That means like making collection immutable through utility classes and making collection immutable through factory methods, which is introduced after Java 9. Let's see what are the differences we'll see. First, we'll see mutability. View can't be modified, but the underlying collections means the original data, original collection can be modified in unmodifiable collection. That is created using a utility class. But here in factory methods, that is after Java 9, truly immutable and can't be modified in any way. Okay, mutability in terms of it's truly immutable, it's not truly immutable. Whereas thread safety, if you talk about thread safety, the unmodified collection will provide a thread safety for the view, but changes to the underlying collection can cause inconsistencies because original data we can't able to still modify. But here in the immutable collection, inherently thread safe and no risk of modification. How we can able to create an unmodifiable collection is using utility class collections dot unmodifiable list if it's a list, set if it's a set, and map if it's a map on existing collections. So for that parameter, we need to pass an existing collection to it. But here in immutable collection, we could have used list dot of if it's a want to store a list type of data, set dot of set type of data, map dot of it's a map type of data. So behavior and modification. Suppose when we try to modify, both will throw unsupported operation exception when I try to modify these unmodifiable collection or immutable collections. So let's see what is immutable classes and collection. So not only our collection, we can apply this immutable concept. We can also make our classes itself immutable. Okay. So Java encourages immutability in both collection and individual classes. When working with, suppose when we are working with an immutable collection, it's a we which mustn't like it's a best practice to make our class itself immutable. Okay. To achieve fully immutability. Okay. A class is said to be immutable such that once an object gets created, there is no value we can able to modify. Okay. That once object is created, its state cannot change. We can't change its state of an object. The characteristics of immutable classes are how we can able to change a normal class to immutable class is we need to make all fields used in that class should be final. Class, we need to declare it as a final. So if you make class as final, that's it. There is no concept of child classes or subclasses. And fields are initialized only through constructor. Okay. No modification afterwards. Like at the time of creation of object, we'll pass a value and it will be initialized. These fields gets initialized. That's it. And no setter method should be given because setter methods are given to modify the data, right? So here in our case, like if you want to make our class as a final or immutable, there is no question of setters. So let's see. Example of immutable class along with the immutable collection. I have a class called student. As you can see, I written here as a final. I made this class as a final so that it can't be extended or child class. There is no concept of child class to it. And I have a two fields, name and courses. Both I made it as a final. So and at the time of creation, like in a constructor, I have initializing these two final variables. So here, once it's these values get initialized, that's it. There is no way we can able to edit them. And also I given only a getters. There is no question of setters because next time I'm not going to set those values. At the time of creation, what we set, that's the final. And in our main method, I'm creating an array list, which is of course list. And I added this math and science. Okay. So I created my object of my student class. At the time of creation, I passed this John, means name of the student, and the course, which is a list of string, which I created here, list of string course list. When I print this, I get maths and science. So John has maths and science taken. So attempt to modify the immutable list. Suppose like student dot get course dot add of history. Suppose I need to like if I am trying to add any extra course to him, I get a unsupported operation exception. Okay. Here I'm taking it as a final. So this array list is become finalized. Like it become immutable. Let's see how we can able to work with streams and immutable collection. Because you guys know after Java 8, a stream API was introduced. It allow for easy manipulation of collections and we can easily create immutable collection from streams using a method like collectors dot to modifiable list. Okay, if it's a list, suppose I have a demo here, like I just want to create a list of string, my one collection object which is of type list, and I just want to create an immutable list. So what I can do is I can write stream dot of abc. Okay, here I'm using an stream API in Java 8 feature, stream dot of abc dot collect. So the parameter collectors dot to unmodifiable list. That means it will provide me in a list which is immutable type. So when I try to print it, I'm getting output as ABC, which I added here. When I try to add another value to it, I get a unsupported operation exception. Okay. So immutable collection methods. If it's a list, list dot of or list dot copy of. Suppose if I already have an existing list, I just want to create a immutable. I could have used this factory method. There is one more factory method called copy of. Okay. List dot of will get create a immutable collection. For that, I need to pass a value to it. But if my already I have any collection, I just want to make that as a immutable. I could have used another method called copy of, which is also a factory method. For set, it will be set dot of and set dot copy of. For map, it will be map dot of and map dot copy of. So let's see the use of this copy of. Copy of methods are useful to create a immutable collection from an existing collection. Suppose like I have one array list, new array list, um, a list type of collection it is, where I added these two values A and B. I just want to create a immutable out of it. This is a mutable collection. I just want to make it as an immutable. So what I can do is list of string immutable list equal to, I can call the list interface. We have a factory method called copy of dot copy of. I just pass the mutable list. Okay, the existing collection. So it will give me an immutable collection. The a complete copy of that immutable collection, such that will be thread safe. Okay, apart from these, both the factory methods and our utility classes, we can create an immutable collections or immutable type of data. But apart from this, we have a third-party libraries also for these immutable collections. So what are those is, like apart from Java standard library, there are third-party library which also offer immutable collections with enhanced capabilities. What are they is Google Gava. So which offers immutable list, set and map, and also Apache Commons collection, which provide its own, immutable implementation for the collections. Okay, using this third party also we can able to make our collection as an immutable. Let's see one example. Like let's see Gova example. So here I just want to create an immutable list, suppose of ABC data. If I want to go within a factory method, I could have go with like off. Okay, list dot of. Otherwise, I could have used this Google Gova like immutable list. There is a method in present inside of this Google Gova, that is immutable list dot of. Similarly, ABC if I provide, it will give me an immutable type of collection. Okay, when I try to add another data to it, I'm getting an unsupported operation exception. So let's see this all about immutable collections. Let's see a conclusion. So immutable collection are essential when we need to maintain data consistency, ensuring thread safety and protect data being changed accidentally. So it will prevent accidentally change of data. And Java provide multiple ways to work with immutable collection, starting with unmodifiable views in pre-Java 9 version and evolving a true immutability with a factory method introduced in Java 9, and combining immutable collection with a mutable object, sorry, immutable collection with a immutable object ensure robust, maintainable and thread safe code. So guys, these are about immutability in Java, how to make our collection as an immutable. And if you're making collection as immutable, it's better make our class as an immutable such that we can achieve complete immutability. So what is the use for this immutability? Immutability, we have saw that for thread safe and consistency, data integrity. So this all about today concept, guys. In our next video, I'll come up with a more advanced concept. So till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you. Bye.